how to tell if your guy is serious about you or if he is going to hurt you later on down the line. I have a lot of people, and I say this in every video, that I have a lot of people that say this or come to me to say that, or clients that. It's because I'm bombarded with questions all day, so I'm not just, regurgitating things. But I do want to make a video touching on it real fast. This will be a short video, so jumping right into it. How do you actually tell if the guy you're talking to, is going to hurt you later on down the road? Especially if maybe things are going well right now. A lot of clients have things going well, and then at a halfway mark, things change, and she doesn't know what's going on. Here's something I want to tell you, ladies. There is no such thing as mixed signals. In every one of these clients I'm talking about, there were signs that you were just ignoring them. I'm not saying everybody has to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. But hear me out on this one thing, okay? If you as a woman are doing your part, meaning you're watching my videos and doing the things I'm saying, such as asking specific questions. What are you looking for? Looking out for certain things like consistency. You guys are on the same page. The pace is okay. Patience. He's being patient, sorry. If you're asking all the right questions and you're doing all the right things, yet you're still confused on where he stands or where this is going, that is a big problem. I will have people literally do what I say, such as asking a guy where it's going. And the guy says, oh, things are going well. We talked about it before. I'm looking for the same thing as you. But he's inconsistent, and that leaves her wondering. Ladies, that is a big sign. That is a huge sign. Now, I'm not saying that means this guy is going to hurt you later on down the road, but it just doesn't align with logic. And again, I hate saying this over and over, that dating is a game of risk avoidance on both ends. He has to reduce risk of losing you if he's serious about a relationship and it progressing towards a relationship, hence my point of all this, right? And you have to reduce risk of choosing the wrong mate. So when you're looking at this guy who's saying one thing and his actions are doing another, or let's say his actions are doing okay, but there's some things there that leave you wondering. And again, you're asking the right questions, such as, okay, this is a decent guy, but let's say he's a little inconsistent, and you call it out. As a guy, he has to avoid risk too. If he agrees on a relationship, that looks a certain way. And if it doesn't look that way, now people will say, well, it's different for everyone. I'm not talking about like the little uniqueness. I'm just talking like common sense, lowest common, variable, like just logical prerequisites, consistency, transparency, communication, things like that. And you're not getting that, even though you're asking the questions about that to get that clarity, to get that transparency, and you still don't have it. That is a sign, ladies. That is a clear sign you're going to get your fucking ass whooped, figuratively, of course, later on down the road. Again, the game is about risk avoidance. If I want a relationship that looks a certain way, as a guy, ladies, you have to understand, as a guy, I know what that looks like. I know what that looks like to you. Ladies, men know you want transparency. They know you want a guy who is consistent. They know you want a guy who courts you, takes you out, spends a little on you, makes a little effort, tries to get to know you. This isn't just me as a dating coach saying this. Like, guys know this. Guys know they shouldn't push for sex on the first date, but they do all this anyway. And there's only two reasons they do it, ladies. Because they know they can do it and get away with it. Either you're showing signs, or there's patterns in his past where women have caved, whatever, right? So he thinks he can get away with it. And two, he doesn't care about the outcome. He just cares about the results, meaning he doesn't care if it moves towards a relationship. He cares about the benefits he gets along the way. And then when it gets to a serious relation or whatever, to that point where he has to pull the trigger, he's like, I don't know. And he gets cold feet, and he turns around and runs. Ladies, to sum all this up, if you are wanting to know if a guy is serious about you and you don't want to get hurt later on down the road, you just have to do your due diligence in asking the right questions, trying to get the transparency, just looking for the lowest common variable. That's what it was called. Yeah. And, and him doing his prerequisites. Is he a good guy, consistent? Are you looking at his dating history? Transparency, courting you. If he's not doing those things and you're trying to figure out why, asking the questions, and you still don't know, it's because he's bullshitting you somewhere. He's bullshitting you along the way. Why do we got to put a title on? Why can't we just go with the flow? Why do you always ask me? He's going to start gaslighting you. Why do you always ask? Are you always like that? Like, fuck, he's just going to do that shit. And that is a sign, ladies, because a guy who truly likes you, right, will give you that transparency because it reduces his risk. Listen, it's like, I hate to say it like this because it makes it so black and white, but it's so true. And I use these analogies all the time when it comes to like the business and sales and stuff like that. But a confused customer doesn't want to buy. A confused customer will not buy. If you're trying to sell me something, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, right? That I'm not on board. It should be the same thing with men. If a woman is confused on where he stands, if a woman's confused on what he's about or, his intentions, she's not going to move forward, or she shouldn't at least. So don't you think as a guy, for me to clear that path, for me to smooth that road out, to make it a nice, smooth ride from casual to committed, I will give you all that transparency you need? The reason they don't, two reasons. He doesn't want to be held accountable for it, and he doesn't want to, I guess he's scared of the context that comes with it, meaning, okay, if I tell her I want a relationship and I start acting like a relationship, now that I think about it, I don't want to let her know, but I'm not really sure about a relationship. He doesn't want to give you that, right? That clarity, because then you have to hold him accountable for it. So, in a nutshell, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, ladies, you're asking the right questions and you're still confused, we got a fucking problem. Now, to help you with this problem, if you want to get a session with me, links down below. If you want to get my guides, I have 9 guides, absolutely free, all free, help you with everything in terms of men, dating, texting, how to find a guy, how to build rapport with a guy, no contact, how to find out how much a guy actually likes you. I have guides for everything. All 9 absolutely free. Links down below, along if you want to get a session with me. I would love to give you some clarity on your situation. Ladies, I love you all. Take care and peace.